Hi everyone and welcome back to LL Sports TV. Hope you're all well. This is episode 13 of the show Keep It in the Family. My name is Laurie, I'm your host, and I'm joined today by the ever popular, you may also know as the daughter of Robbie. She's here today, she's back by popular demand. Kenya in the building.
Yes.
How you doing?
Thank you for having me back. I'm pleased to be back, yes.
You're back by popular demand, man. You're looking at the
man,
comments for these videos, man. A lot of people are feeling what you got to say.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all the comments. I think we've got good chemistry in that, so it's good. So, I'm happy.
Most definitely. And we've got a lot to talk about, so let's crack on. Today's show, I'm calling it Champions League or Bust, and I think that title's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. It's very truthful.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, from an Arsenal point of view, there's only one real story in town.
Yeah.
We started out the season engaged in 4 competitions. You had the Premier League, Champions League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. We're now reduced to just the one, given that our league form has fallen away so rapidly and so dramatically.
Yeah.
But we do still have a chance in the Champions League, although somewhat slim, as many people would say. But listen, we know that if we get past PSV, we've got one of the 2 Madrid teams in the following round. But we're not going to look past that. We're going to concentrate on PSV. That will be a difficult tie. We got them coming up. Kenya, it's difficult to underestimate how big a game this is for Arsenal this season, but just give us your initial thoughts.
Like you said, it's a massive game. I think there's so much riding on this, and I think based off the last 2 league results anyways, it's even more important that you win this game. I think, we drew against Forest, we lost to West Ham, so everyone's kind of looking at this PSV game like, right, we need something at least encouraging. And like you said, it's Champions League or bust. We've got nothing else to play for. We have to do something. Like, I know a lot of people say you have no chance or whatever, which is fair, and I'm not going to disagree with that actually, but you still need to go forward in this competition. It's so important. Like, I can't even explain how important it is. It's the only thing you can show a bit more dignity left in, if that makes sense. So
and the way things are at present as well, with the form of the team, the injuries, the vibe around the club has to be said is not the best.
Right now. 100%. It's quite down, and which I think again rightfully so. I mean, what's there to be happy about? What is there to be happy about? I can't name you really anything to be happy about right now.
No,
as an Arsenal fan.
You're not wrong.
So, it's what it is.
Okay, let's take a little look at PSV then. They're currently second in the Eredivisie, which is a Dutch league. They are 8 points off the leaders, Ajax.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, their most recent form has not been great, though. I think they've lost their last 2 teams to a team you may have heard of or may not have heard of. Go Ahead Eagles.
Yeah, I've heard of Go Ahead
Eagles. Sounds like a basketball team. You know what I mean? But, they played that team and they've lost twice.
Wow, okay.
And Go Ahead Eagles are 7th in the Dutch league, so that's not great form.
No, it's not.
But then you contrast that with Arsenal, and it's not too dissimilar.
It's not that much difference, is it?
We've not won in our last 2 games either. We lost that dreadful performance against West Ham, which for me and for you, I'm pretty sure, Ken, is probably our worst performance of the season.
Yeah, 100%.
When you lose into 15th place West Ham at home and you're supposed to be going for the title, that is poor. And then the performance on top of that was dreadful as well.
I
thought the Forest performance, though, even though, it wasn't great, but, you're going to Forest, are a decent team, 3rd in the league, and they would have been looking at Arsenal and thinking, yeah, man, we can do something. So to keep them to zip, get some of their best players taken off well before the game finished, Chris Wood, Elanga, people like that.
Hudson-Odoi.
I thought a point there wasn't bad, I thought there's a decent result. Maybe not, it wasn't the greatest game. What do you think?
No, I agree. I actually had the privilege of going to the game. And I thought we were defensively, like, I think Calafiori had maybe 2 or 3 shaky moments. That's what I would say. But I thought defensively we were really solid. I thought our centre backs were really. I thought Timber, to be honest, was so good. Like, he kept Anthony Elanga so quiet. I've never actually seen that for anybody defending against Anthony Elanga. But like you said, going forward, that's where, and to be fair, you could say about both teams, because they didn't really have, they didn't really do anything either. But I think for them, maybe it's more disappointing because they actually had a really good front three, whereas we didn't at all. But But yeah, I mean, I looked at the performance like, you know what, we did almost everything right, but the issue is we have no killers, we have no front three. And I actually looked at it like, can I hate on someone like Declan Rice and Odegaard and that for that performance? I don't know if I can, really. So there was positives and negatives, but yeah, I am inclined to agree with you, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't the best game to watch.
Yeah, it was a bit it was boring, yeah.
We didn't score. We didn't really look like scoring.
Yeah.
However, you are right, Kenya. We looked solid in defence, and I think to go to Forest and get a point was a decent result.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do have a concern, though, because I think that was the third in 4 games now that we've not scored.
Wow.
Which is going into a game of this magnitude against PSV is it's difficult.
Yeah.
With PSV, they have got a couple of guys there that did take your attention. So, for example, Noah Lang, winger, Bakayoko,
Luke de Jong. Yeah, these are all good players. They're
Perisic.
all exactly. Perisic. Oh my God, I saw Perisic score the other day, and I was like, "Is this the same Perisic
the same guy,
that we saw at Spurs?" Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't go straight to PSV. He went somewhere else. I think he went to a Croatian team first, and then he went to PSV. But I was like, "Wow, like look at this guy. Like, look how good he's looking. Like." Boy, and then you got Lucas Perez signing for them. I was like, oh my God. We see the script already.
Yes.
You see what they're trying to line up already, man. Allow it. But
and listen, they will be motivated, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're probably looking at it like, although obviously what you can say is the last time we've met is favoured Arsenal, because I think with this manager that they have, he's actually not beaten us. We've drawn with them and we beat them.
Bosch,
We've drew with them 1-1 and we beat them 4-0 at the Emirates. So he's probably looking at it like, right, Arsenal have got the one up on me. But I actually think this is a perfect time for PSV to play Arsenal. Like, yes, we've got one of the best defences. I think in terms of XG, we've actually conceded the least amount out of all the other European teams.
Oh, okay.
But obviously going forward we've got nothing. So PSV are probably looking at that with like Noah Lang, with Bakayoko, with Luke de Jong, saying, right, we can hit them on the counter and really, you know, get a number on them. And like you said, we've not scored in our last 2 or 3 games. So again, they're probably looking at that like, if we beat them on the counter as well, it's not like they've got a lot going forward. So I think for them, this is actually a good time to meet us.
Oh, definitely.
They're probably looking at this tie like, this is quite favourable, to be honest.
I'm sure that they're confident. I mean, they're playing the first leg at their place. And they will be looking at Arsenal and think, yeah, man, if ever there was a good time to play Arsenal, it's now, because they are vulnerable.
Exactly.
And if you're going to win games, especially over 2 legs, you've got to score goals. And we've not been scoring goals.
Exactly.
And it's interesting because I looked at PSV's goal scoring record this season. It's quite impressive. They've scored 71 goals in their league this season. So they're not short of goals. The other guy I should have mentioned as well is their top scorer this season, Ricardo Pepi.
Oh yes,
he scored quite a few goals this season as well.
Man.
I'll tell you who else has rocked up there. Remember Tyrone Malacia?
Yes, I saw. Who did they play at? It was Juventus, wasn't he? He looked really good. I remember messaging Flex like, "Yo, are you all I was like, "You guys went and got a new left, but maybe you should have just kept the guy."
Yeah.
He's actually looking all right.
And we should also remember as well that they beat Liverpool.
Yeah. I think what you can say about that game, though, I guess Liverpool, like, they were already through. Do you know what I mean? They were perfect, basically. But yeah, they still gave them a lot of problems. I mean, I know Liverpool played quite a changed team, but still, like, I want to say like Konate played and stuff like that. So, you know, they still had a proper go. They did. Was it at Anfield or was it at PSV? I want to say maybe it was at Eindhoven. But anyways, wherever it was, they beat them anyways. They beat them. So not many people can say that.
In the last round, they put out Juve,
exactly.
Which is a very good result.
Yeah, and Juventus were leading in that time. I'm pretty sure they were leading 2-1. So
and Juve, by the way, had beaten them in the first.
In the groups. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
So
do you know what I mean?
To turn it around and beat them is good.
It goes
form.
to show that they're a team that does their homework. So like, they were able to overcome Juventus, although they've beaten them before. So they're probably looking at us, their coaching staff's probably really looking at Arsenal and dissecting where our weak areas are, which is obviously going forward. And they're probably like, right, we can maybe not play it, maybe we don't have to be as defensive, we can be a bit more attacking. Like, and to be honest, they might as well try and go for it.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of those teams, man, that on their day, they can do damage.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
So if you look at in the group stages, they won 4 games. They beat Girona, who we also played and beat. They beat Shakhtar, which is decent. They beat Red Star, and then they beat Liverpool. And they drew with Sporting.
Oh, okay.
And they also drew with PSG.
Wow. So yeah.
Yeah. So by that you can tell, and of course they put out Juve, like I said in the last round, and they have some decent players.
Yeah.
In terms of how we approach the game, who would you like to see take the field?
Oh. I don't know, man.
I mean, some of the positions are fairly obvious. Like we know Raya's going to play.
Yeah.
We know the two centre backs will be, barring any injury, will be Gabriel and Saliba.
Yeah.
Fullbacks, what do you reckon?
I'd still play Timber. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Miles Skelly's back.
Mars Lewis Skelly. I might just put him in because I think Calafiori going forward has been really good, but we saw Hudson-Odoi. Well, he cooked him, man. He cooked him in the first 5 minutes, and then he nearly gave away a penalty.
And he was a bit rash, wasn't he? A minute into the game, he was giving away a yellow card by dragging the man back.
Yeah,
I remember when he did that, Hudson-Odoi looked at him and just started laughing as if to say, man, like, the game's barely started.
And I was saying, like, what made it even worse, I think right after that happened, Elanga went over to that side for about 10 minutes. And I was like, look what you've now made yourself susceptible to.
You had to play that whole. That's why he got subbed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you can't be putting a guy for the whole 90 because
plus, we can't do another red card, man. Oh, my God. I mean? We can't do another red card.
Midfield?
Same midfield for me. Declan Rice. Actually, no. Thomas Partey didn't play, did he?
No, he didn't.
Do you know what? It's hard to say, actually, now that I think, because I thought Jorginho was actually good. He was actually all right against Forest. But I would probably put Thomas Partey back in. I would probably put Thomas Partey and have Odegaard back in, to be honest.
Because it's interesting, because in that game, he brought on Partey late into the game anyway.
And then he gave the ball away. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh my God, you've just come on, man.
So the midfield trio, you're saying Partey, Rice
and Odegaard,
big game for Odegaard, though, isn't it?
Yeah, massive game. This is
what do you think's happened to him, man? Because he's just form recently. It's just.
Do you know what? I do think this is going to sound really harsh. I do think this is also a continuation of last season. Last season he was good, but if you compare it to that 22-23 season where he got 15 goals, right? Then the season after that, I think he got 8 or 7 goals. This season, I want to say maybe he's got 3 goals. Like, it's just, he's on a bit of a downward spell, and I don't know what it is. I mean, obviously, he's had that really horrible injury. I think he was injured twice this season. He had that really horrible injury. So you're obviously going to need time to fully come back to your best. Yeah. But I still feel like when he first came back, like his first 2 or 3 games, he looked really good. I was like, wow, it's almost like you've not missed a beat. But then after that, since like we played Newcastle and that, I was like, you've actually been really poor. And I don't know what it is, but like I always say, the issue with that is that you're the captain. You wear the armband. So a lot of these times, people look to you to say, Captain, we need you. We need you to step up. And especially since you're in an attacking role, we're looking at it like, right, we're missing our best player, Bukayo Saka. We're missing 2 of our centre forwards in Gabriel Jesus and Kai Havertz. We're missing Martinelli. We really need you. And I feel like he's not really answered that call. And it's, I don't know, it's really like, I don't know, man.
Some people are suggesting that maybe the captaincy is weighing heavy on him and that maybe he should be relieved of the captaincy. That should go to either Declan Rice or Gabriel, and then that will allow him to focus on his football. I mean, it's unlikely that the manager's going to do it, but I just wanted to know, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I'm actually not a fan of like stripping people of captaincy unless they really deserve it. And I don't think just because you're in bad form doesn't mean you should get the armband taken away from you. But I do think, you should ask questions, but you also have other leaders in your team. Like I would say Gabriel's a leader in the team. I'd say Declan Rice is a leader in the team, but you've been chosen by your fellow colleagues and players, and you've also been chosen by the manager. So I don't know. I think as well, if you strip a guy of the captaincy, what's that going to do for his confidence? Yeah, surely that's just going to make it worse. So I would just leave him as it, and I'm happy with him as our captain. But we do need you to step up.
He does need to step up. Yeah, even he would admit that his form of recent games has not been good.
Need you to.
He's had little moments where you think, he could be on it today, and then invariably they've just kind of
like what I would say when we played Forest. I actually felt really sorry for him because he played really well, but he'd look up and there's no one there. There's no Havertz, there's no Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, and I was like, what can the guy actually do half the time? Marino's like next to him half the time. Of course you would say that, man.
No, but I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
But you know what it is though? For a guy of his outstanding technical ability. Listen, I've said this many times here. And Martin Odegaard on form is one of my favourite players.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's one of the best players aesthetically to watch in the Premier League, trust me. But when he's not on form, he just seems to just melt away.
Yeah, it's true.
I know that's a bit harsh to say that, but
No,
it is
I agree.
actually true. He just
Look, I'm not trying to like draw him out and compare him, but look at Bruno yesterday. I know they lost in the FA Cup, but like he popped up in a massive moment and he scored.
He did. He did
And
that when we went out to them in the FA Cup as well.
He's honestly keeping that United team up, like not even joking. And I'm just like, I know Odegaard, you've got that in you.
Yeah.
In fact, I've seen you be better than that. And yet, like, it feels like a disservice almost to him as well, because it's like, we know you're so good. We know you've got it in you. Just, you need to get it out. Like, you need to fit, and you need to do it quickly as well.
Yeah.
Because these are the type of moments, man, when you've got when your big players are out, people are looking to you.
Yeah, it is.
Same way, like you see, like Real Madrid, Vinicius Junior's out. They're looking to Mbappe. They're looking to Rodrigo.
Right.
They're looking to Jude Bellingham, and those people, they step up.
Yeah,
so you have to
captaincy
step up.
comes with responsibility,
Exactly,
man. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like you said, Kenya, I know it's a bit brutal, but it's the truth.
Heavy as the crown, man.
When you step out on that pitch and you're the captain
Yeah,
for
we're
a club
looking
like
to you.
Arsenal, you have to show and prove.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
exactly.
you know what I mean? I'm just interested to hear your thoughts on this. Tactics for this game, because normally when Arsenal go out,
Yeah.
they try to dominate possession, and you know it's that control build-up and all the rest of it. Do you think that they will try and do that with PSV, or do you think they'll sit a little deeper, maybe allow PSV to come onto us? Not that we've got much pace there on the break with, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
think
Arsenal will try and play their normal game, or do you think they'll adapt the tactics?
No, I think we'll try and play our normal game, because PSV is a team where, like, if you give them, I guess maybe, I don't know, it's hard to say actually. I guess it could be like, if you gave them the possession, they might not know what to do with it. Like, if you go back to when we played Spurs and we beat them 3-2, we were really like, cool, you can have the ball. And they spent most of the time being like, actually, we don't know how to break you down. We don't know how to go about it. But also that, we now don't have the attacking power of Saka, Martinelli and Havertz to do that. So I do expect us to dominate possession and just, to be honest, we have to.
Yeah, I should have said as well, the front three. That's remiss of me not to mention that, but that's a big part of the team. That front three, how do you think he plays it? What would you do?
I do think he's gonna go for the same front three, which was Trossard, Marino, and Nwaneri. But I don't know, man. It's weird. I was thinking maybe you should put Calafiori up front, because you know what? You know what I would say against Forest, he had the best shot.
He did.
He hit the post, and he's
quite a lovely effort as well. He scored a couple of goals too.
I'm like, you know what? He gets busy in the box. What I would say going forward, he's actually really good.
I think it'd actually be more of a physical handful going forward.
Yeah, I actually agree, because he's really like rash and he gets around quite well. Like,
he kind of plays like a frustrated forward.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like the kind of guy that probably when he was younger, he
definitely played up front
wants
somewhere.
to keep playing up there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because, and I don't know, man. I obviously in past shows I have spoken about Raheem Sterling, man. But when I saw him come on for Forest, I was so annoyed. At one point, he just dived, and I was like, "Why would you do that?" And that just like in that moment, I was just like, "Nah, you can't start. You can't start."
Well, we're looking at a guy that's desperately out of form.
Yeah.
He's trying. Sometimes I think he's trying a bit too hard. When you see him overrunning balls and under-hitting passes or over-hitting them, a lot of that, believe it or not, people, it is down to somebody that's trying too hard. They've been taken out of character because their confidence is on the floor. I really do hope, man, because I like Raheem Sterling. I really do hope that we start to see something from him. Maybe this is his opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Look,
away from home.
Look, he's the one out of our squad who's got the most European experience. So
one of the most
these are moments where
you're
supposed to be saying, look, I've been here, I've been to PSV, I've been to all these big games, and I know what it takes to win. So look, this is a perfect opportunity for him to step up. But what I would say is that when there has been opportunities for him to step up, he hasn't. Like, we see Girona, he misses a penalty. And I know in the grand scheme of things, we won the game, but that would have just killed the game, do you know what I mean? And you look at those
crucially,
things.
that would have helped his confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And that would have, with Havertz. Against Bournemouth. And like, he kicked on from them, do you know what I mean? So, he's a weird one, man. I really love Raheem Sterling, but it's just not working out at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him get a start, but it's not going to happen. I think the manager will go with the front three you just mentioned. So we've got to wrap up. Things are moving fast. Prediction time.
Okay.
Massive game for Arsenal. Like I said, it's Champions League or bust this season for Arsenal. How do you think this game goes? It is the first leg, so there is another leg the following week. How do you think it will play out?
I think it'll be really difficult. I think our defence will have a really hard game against that front three and that attacking midfield. But I think we would just somehow do it. I'm going to be optimistic and say 1-0. I know that doesn't sound optimistic, but yeah, I'm going to say 1-0. I was thinking 0-0 at first. I was like, nah, I got to predict a win.
They score a lot of goals, though.
They score a lot of
71.
goals.
Yeah.
But then I also think we don't concede a lot of goals.
That's true.
I don't think we've conceded two or more goals in any game this season. Am I right to say that?
You could be right in that, you know.
So I'm looking at that like, okay, defence is on our side. David Raya. I expect us to be really sound. Let's hope that we can. And I'm going to say Trossard to score.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right, okay. So Kenya is optimistic and she's going for 1-0. I'm not quite as optimistic as you are, Kenya, if I'm being honest,
That's
given
fair.
our recent form, given the fact that we're not scoring goals. However, I don't think we'll lose the game either, and I'm going 1-1. And I think if we come out of Eindhoven with a 1-1 draw,
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
still a
kind of
decent
sets us
result.
up nicely
Yeah.
for the home games. So.
That's still a decent result, and then you
Yeah.
can go home and you can rally your fans and your squad and try and win.
Yeah,
So I'm not really against
absolutely.
that either, to be honest.
And it was, you know,
Yeah.
there'll be a bit of feel-good factor about that if we come away with a result.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll definitely take that. But listen, Kenya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your considered and erstwhile knowledge of the game, as always. Shout out to everybody watching the show. Really appreciate it. If you're new here, please like, share and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one. We are out.